didn't read it.
There we go.
I didn't read the script.
There's a script.
There's a script today.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
There's
How's
a
it going,
script
man?
today.
Do you know what this is?
No.
This is the Talkies from Karman Studios.
Oh, dang.
And if you're not one of the hosts of the show, welcome to the Talkies.
Wow.
4 filmmakers talking about movies. And I'm Kenny.
I'm D.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Maddie.
That's right, 4 of us.
That was hilarious.
There's 4 of us.
Crazy.
Wow. Weird. Wow.
Wow. 4 filmmakers talking about movies. And
What
today...
Wow.
Maddie, are you all right?
I'm chill.
Gee,
I'm
cool.
doing
Maddie,
great.
calm down,
Take
man.
it easy.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Jesus.
It's on me, everybody.
Control yourself.
Okay.
All right. Wow. Okay. Today we watched a movie called Men by Alex Garland.
Men.
We've covered Alex Garland before. I think just Annihilation. We didn't do Ex Machina.
Because that was 2015.
That was before we
Yeah.
started Talkies.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
before we started talking
Has he
shit
had
about
another
him,
movie
too.
since?
Show.
This is his first. I mean, he did Devs,
He did
which was a
Devs,
show.
Yeah. This
And
is his follow-up feature to Annihilation.
In all honesty, it's a lot like Annihilation.
It's also a lot like Devs.
You remember? Yeah, you remember that part in Annihilation where this movie happened?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I do remember
What
that.
I do remember, I actually don't remember this, but I was going to say, this feels like a cutscene from Devs to me.
A cut. Interesting.
Like if one of the characters in Devs had like some weird fever dream, it'd be this and it would fit perfectly.
It's probably because it's directed by the same dude.
Yeah. His aesthetic is just so strong. Like it is really, really palpable. And I'm like,
Yeah, I really like his aesthetic.
it took 5 minutes and I'm like, oh, Garland.
Yeah.
Garland. I feel it all over this. Yeah. But let's start with hot takes anyway.
Let's.
You know, and I think Taylor can get us going.
Really?
We'll go Taylor to Maddie. We're going to go around this way to end with D.
Oh, wow.
Because his hot
D
take
will
is
have the
always
most
the best.
Valid hot
Yeah.
take.
His is the only one that matters.
This is the shittiest, so you
Yeah.
can go ahead and start
Yeah,
us off.
Yours is the least
Yep.
important.
Yep.
So go ahead, Taylor. hot
That's
take
probably right. That's
Yeah,
probably
on
right.
Alex Garland's Men. Go.
This movie had
I liked that.
awesome cinematography.
Mm.
I don't know that I really enjoyed it that much.
Yeah.
D shakes his head. And yeah, I did not enjoy it that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Hey, that's
same.
hot. That's hot. Thank you. Maddie.
Well,
But it's
well, it's good.
But it's good.
But sure. Same. Looked pretty at times, and not sure what I'm supposed to feel or think or care about. Not sure who's a hero. Not sure what the story was.
Wow. Sounds like a
not
train
sure.
wreck.
Kind of not sure why I'm supposed to care either.
Yeah.
You know, anyway, I just kind of walk away feeling like, God damn, now I can't get that out of my head.
Hell yeah.
And
I know what
that
part
was
you're talking about.
fucking
yeah,
crazy shit.
yeah. I don't know, fucking another guy just making another movie because he can, and I'm over it.
Damn,
Wow.
that's fucking hot.
That's
take
a next
right
level burn right there. That's a burn
Damn,
take.
bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Fucking
my hot
guy.
take is like a combination of the two of you. Like I just really, I kind of feel the same thing I have felt with most of his movies. Annihilation and Ex Machina, I think were both very good films. But this I put more on par with Devs, where I feel like the parts are all very cool, but the collective whole made by those parts does not a good movie make.
Ooh.
That's how I feel. Like
Oh.
I'm like almost everything in this movie was cool,
Yeah.
but I still don't feel like I just watched a good movie, which is really weird. Like it's
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that's such an odd feeling.
Yeah.
And I've had that before with Alex Garland.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That was pretty warm.
I feel
pretty
like
warm.
D is gonna be very enlightening.
Go D, take us.
Oh,
D.
I'm
D,
ready to
D,
be
D,
enlightened.
Take us to
D,
another
D.
level. Go Big D.
Lines here.
Let's go.
Okay, here we
I'm
go.
ready. Ready for my mind to blow up.
Yeah, just very average review here. It's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't mind blowing. It wasn't amazing. I really liked the tone poem that I want to say he had going on here. As for what a story was, I think he has very strong themes, like he did with Annihilation and Ex Machina and Devs.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no real story, but I'm okay with that. Because Mother is what this kind of reminded me of. And I really loved Mother, even though there was zero story to Mother.
I disagree. I think there is a story to Mother.
Mother is much more visceral to me. And this wasn't. There wasn't times, but there were heavy theming, I would say.
Yeah.
But that's it. And I loved it for that. So I loved the movie.
Yeah. At the same time, despite what I just said in my hot take, I'd still say I loved the experience of watching this movie.
Yeah.
And if I frame it as a tone poem, like as you just said, I think that does make it better in my mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I could call Devs a tone poem,
I wish I could, but there's too much substance there.
Sure.
You can't quite do it.
And
honestly, even Mother isn't a tone poem because there's still actually a sort of an arc there for Jennifer Lawrence's character in Mother.
Yeah.
But we have had many episodes turn into an episode about Mother that isn't
and that's not this
so
one,
we need to control ourselves.
And I think Mother has a stronger vision.
I did too.
I think so too.
I think with this one, it just kind of felt
What's the point?
like jerk off motion. Again,
bit.
like I just am kind of,
So
that's not
what
a
makes
bad
you-
thing.
What makes you say that?
It's not a bad thing.
Let's break it down.
I want to know, I understand like that there's supposed to be some significance to the man, woman, Adam, Eve, apple, forbidden fruit, sexuality, carnality.
The film's called Men.
The film's called Men, and there's the whole idea of her fault versus not her fault. It's very fascinating. But I'm coming away thinking like, nobody learned anything. You know what I mean? Like nobody.
It never was clear what the film was trying to actually say.
Yeah, and in that way, it made me think.
I'm missing.
Yeah, and I feel like if like there was some so why?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why did they split up? Were we supposed to learn that? Why did he jump? Did he not jump? I didn't even know I was supposed to care about that until she's talking to the vicar.
Was I supposed to empathize with her?
Yeah.
Or feel like repulsed by her?
Yeah.
And
I couldn't. Because
I don't know.
it was directed by a dude, and the comment of like "you stupid bitch," I'm like. What is he trying? Is he trying to be like, see, women, I understand you. You know, like,
Dude, I get
what
that.
I mean? And I'm like,
totally get
what are you
what
trying to
mean.
say? Like, are you trying to say that like I hate myself as a man? Like, is that what the vicar's moment of him like, you know what I mean? Like him being like, I can't stop that slit. You know, like
yeah, that was some cringy
what is this?
shit.
Is he trying to hyperbolize? Is he trying to, and I just couldn't. I was lost the whole time. I kept waiting for something to make sense, and I just never did.
For me, so when I say tone poem, it to me felt like it was just the experience of her and her guilt turned into a horror movie. That's what it felt like to me.
Sure.
And so I didn't feel like I was ever supposed to learn anything. Nothing changed. There was no characters that were important specifically besides her and her husband. But all the men, how I felt the movie was supposed to be was it was her somehow feeling guilty for this apparent death that had happened to her husband, and then it came out as this other world against her. And this same thing happened in Annihilation. Annihilation was exactly that. It was a girl who went in with a lot of emotional baggage about herself, about feeling guilt, and it came out outwardly. And same with a bunch of the other characters had destructive tendencies, and it came out very literally in some instances.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened here too.
Totally.
To me, it makes perfect sense in that way. It's not generally a way that I see movies, nor like them for that matter. But I like this because I like Alex Garland's style a lot, and I fell in love with Ex Machina. And I think that's the reason
that's
why.
a good movie.
And you know what's funny? Ex Machina and Annihilation are both and Devs are all very female, I want to say oriented.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Very gender heavy.
Very, Like they're very
Ex
looking down
Machina
at men.
has the lead with what's her name, Alicia Vikander.
I can't remember. Oh yeah.
And Oscar Isaacs plays just the straight definition of toxic masculinity.
he's like an
just gender and
asshole.
sexuality. Yeah.
And Annihilation obviously is led by Natalie Portman.
The whole thing is
And
female.
all female, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a female team.
Yeah,
that's
female
right.
team, yeah.
Is he trying? Maybe that's what he's trying to explore. Is just gender and sexuality and like the roles there.
I feel like it's that and tone poem, but I think Alex thinks of himself, or maybe his filmmaking, as grander than it is.
Sure.
And I think that's why it comes off as so interesting to me.
Honestly,
because,
probably, yeah.
Yeah, because it looks really interesting.
Still
it looks
comes
like
through.
Yeah,
his
because
intention comes through.
exactly. It's kind of it's gonna be a weird fucking bridge that I'm gonna draw here.
No,
but,
I'm kind of like I feel that same thing, and I have the opposite reaction to that.
oh yeah.
Like where I'm like, yeah, it's taking itself too seriously, and it's bullshit.
Well, okay, so what you just said, that's M. Night Shyamalan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but in M. Night,
Well, what's the difference?
But I don't connect at all with M. Night, and I connect completely with Alex. I don't know
Is
why.
it because of his style?
It's probably because of his
Because,
style,
I mean, he has an aesthetic that I think is very aligned with your aesthetic.
Aronofsky has the same thing. And I don't connect with Aronofsky's aesthetic so much, but he thinks of himself as like this super smart filmmaker.
For real, yeah.
Totally.
But he makes really good films.
I
but
love his films.
Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's for the reason that he thinks.
Yeah, that's
Same with
totally
Alex.
interesting. It's kind of like the intentionality of the filmmaker connecting with an audience in some ways doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you and I kind of walked away with the same reaction to the same strategy with a different takeaway.
With a different take, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
Well, that's
of
the episode, folks.
I'm thinking of ending things came to mind many times while watching this for me. I'm not remembering the director.
It's what's his name?
What's his name?
Kaufman?
Andy Kaufman.
Yes, Kaufman.
He directed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a Kaufman film. First in a long time, too. There hadn't been a Kaufman film in a while, right?
Not the comedian. But
I know that.
director.
Charlie Kaufman?
Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah, I'm like Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, because Andy Kaufman is the comedian.
Yeah.
Charlie Kaufman.
That would be a weird movie.
That's right.
Yeah. And
both weird people.
Yes, they are. But very cool. Yep. And I remember while watching that film crossing a point, somewhere in the film I crossed a point where I realized I had to let go of the part of my brain that searches for meaning.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You know, you have a part of your brain, and that's how movies tend to work normally, is you play towards the part of human brains that searches for patterns and meaning, and you use that to your advantage to tell an interesting story.
Yeah.
Right? But people like a Kaufman, like a David Lynch, and even in this case, like a Garland, I think they go a whole nother direction. They're not... You're not going to find fulfillment in just seeking for a narrative archetype.
Well, I think
you have to let go of that. And I started enjoying. I'm thinking of ending things when I stopped caring about where this was going.
Me too.
Sure.
I'm like, I have a part of my brain that's always like, where's this going? Let's try to anticipate what's next. And it's always guessing what's going to happen next. The worst movies are the ones where I can guess what's happening next before it happens, like every time.
Just predictable.
Right. And it's just really blah.
Yeah.
It's just a frustrating exercise if it's just a pure artistic expression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is more like that type of film. And the more I let go of the idea of like a traditional narrative structure, the more this feels like an enjoyable film. Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I don't have a take on that.
What did you feel? What did you feel?
But I would, what I would say.
What'd you come by with your hot take?
Well, what I would say, I think the biggest failure for me for this movie is the horror aspect. Like, none of the horror landed for me at all. I felt really generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Like to literally where it's like, cuts to black and then he's gone. Like, that's literally the most standard.
Some of that stuff.
And why?
Stuff,
why was he gone? Because I know it's an expression, but what are you trying to express?
It feels
you know what I'm saying?
We brought it up during the movie. It feels like a short film.
It really did.
In like a way where it was kind of like, I don't know, it felt a little amateur. Like, it's obviously not amateur, but
okay, hold on. I'm gonna turn this
maybe
into
the
Mother real
screenplay
quick.
felt a little.
Here we go, Mother.
Screenplay felt amateur.
All right, Mother Hour brought to you by D. Von Keys.
Yeah, just really quick. The thing that I talked about with Mother in our episode was about how actually all of us talked about it. How Aronofsky had this strong biblical stuff in his movie, but none of us actually got that from it.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that?
I totally.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, he when interviewed about the movie, he would go on and on about like, oh yeah, this is a biblical allegory, and here's why I did it.
How could you not get that?
Yeah, but and as soon as I heard that, I was like, fuck this movie. That's stupid. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made it less interesting to me.
I got that from watching it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the baby Jesus and shit.
A lot of people did.
You know, taking the food
and I didn't. And what I liked so much about it was that to me it was a story about Jennifer Lawrence's like it was something about a relationship.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it again. But anyway, it left a really interesting impact on me while I watched it.
Yeah.
And I got my own interpretation.
Because your interpretation was yours.
Right.
And it was dope.
Right.
Yeah, so in this movie,
And it was dope.
It was. And so in this movie, I know Alex is trying to do something, and for me, I'm like kind of just disregarding it because honestly, Dev's really left a bad taste in my mouth.
I need to see this movie show.
The show,
I haven't seen it either.
It was so cool. Like Kenny was saying.
2/3 of it is peak entertainment, cerebral, brilliant, and beautiful. And then the last third is like, oh, that's all you got for me?
So it's like that first part that you're talking about, that cerebral, I feel like that's the audience trying to interpret something that's very open.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you start to understand, oh, that's what you were going for. Never mind. That was actually stupid.
Yeah.
So it's like this movie I felt like did that also. But I just decided not to go with the stupid part. And I was just like, I'm staying with my own interpretation.
You know what feels really weird about this movie to me? Is that despite the fact that it's very technically proficient, like it was a beautiful film.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Shot to the most modern standards of technical achievement. Like it was...
Ooh, nice sentence.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Right? Visually,
it was visually
stunning.
Cool. Yeah.
Right? Other than that fact, it would be hard for me to believe that he made this movie after Ex Machina and Annihilation.
100%.
Yeah,
This feels like his first movie.
Yeah, it does.
Like if this was his first movie, I'd been like, whoa, this is an interesting new filmmaker.
Right.
And then Ex Machina would be like, whoa, blow my mind. This guy's going someplace.
He built his chops up.
But this is nowhere near an improvement on his previous two movies. Not even close.
I think that's where I keep coming back to, like, I see what you're doing, and I'm, like, bored of it. Like, there's no...
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
That's how I feel about his style. I feel like he doesn't have a style, almost. Like, his style is a little superficial, kind of, like...
Pretty shit make movies.
Yeah, like, modern... That's all I would say about his style. Modern.
It feels very modern, but I love it.
Totally.
There's a lot about that I like.
Yeah.
All the sequence where she goes off into the woods... Walks around, goes to the tunnel, sings the notes, sees the guy at the end of the tunnel.
Like, sequence of the movie.
That sequence alone was a short film by itself, it'd get into every film festival across the whole... Like that was rad.
Yeah.
That was really, really beautiful and cool and good. But there's no more to it than that.
Yeah.
You know?
I have an example of something like where I like maybe it's just a taste thing. Like the creepy naked guy, why is his dick out? What if he had a leaf over it? Same impact, Adam and Eve shit, same even vibe with the nature, but it's not as like, you know, like, so when the babies are coming out of the backs and the holes in the shit, I'm like, I get it, but there's so many other ways of like
less shock and more thematic.
More purpose. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, because it makes me, I like the ideas of going, this movie where it's kind of fun to go back and kind of chew on it. Kind of be like, ooh, that could be representative of like the pain, you know, like literally pain of childbirth is kind of the pain she's feeling. And putting that on a man coming out of his asshole, you know, that exacerbates it. And it also, I love the idea that all men are the same. It's literally the same actor, and there's kind of the question of her friend being the same actor, like
absolutely,
all men, all people kind of thing, which is interesting. Yeah, but it just doesn't. I just am like.
So I think
we it's kind of like a fake orgasm.
We just watched a visualization of a fake orgasm.
Wow. We were talking about this before. You wanted something more from the movie.
Yes.
That wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I totally get you.
It's not. It wasn't M. Night. It was the scary one where we opened. It was like, what a beautiful frame.
That was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that same thing. Where I'm like, why are you doing this? You know what I mean?
What movie was that?
Honestly, I don't even remember what it was called.
Last time?
The last, it was like supposed to be horror, and there was the old lady and shit, and
X.
X. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I feel about this.
Yeah.
There's something.
Honestly, X was like a more interesting movie.
I had more fun watching X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a more
Not me.
cool movie.
I think it could have gone farther.
I like
That's
this
another
one
thing
more.
I'm coming back to.
I like the filmmaker more because of this. Like, I'm like, oh, he tried something much more interesting and cool.
Yeah.
But X actually still told a better
I think it's
story.
Yeah,
It was lower hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But I still like this more just because I'm looking at the TV like it's there.
Sure.
I see
Yeah.
yeah,
You can go back.
Avatar hanging over there. But yeah, I like this movie more just because I'm visually inclined and I really like his the cinematography that they chose.
There's something about Alex Garland as an auteur that like I feel like he's just like he's punching high.
Yes.
But like I still don't feel like he's on like a Ari Aster level, or like even a who's the other guy who did the Northman? Like he's not even on that level. I feel like
I think he has to go there
kind of
internally.
frustrating.
I think he has to go there. I think he has to go farther. I think he's got to really make it dark. Like, what about like you're gonna turn off the lights and do cool shit like that? What about a crazy scene where there's hands all over her body and it's flashing? You know, like what?
that's
go
cool.
there. You know, like if you're gonna go there and talk about gender and sexuality, and you're gonna use a woman as the man, you have to go there.
Well, honestly,
rape her or something. You know, like.
Man.
I think Annihilation.
She said it.
Yeah, I hate that I said that out loud. I'm like, that's gonna keep me awake tonight. I think I don't mean that, but you know what I mean.
I want to say my interpretation of the film, which
I love this.
Which I thought was obvious, but I guess that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
Is it that their interpretation was obvious? That everything that I thought I already said it. Everything that was happening to her was the experience of her husband dying and just left over, but it's left over in a supernatural way. And like something interesting happened at the end there, Kenny, when the second character came in, and then you saw the car and you said out loud, you said, "Oh, so the car crash was real."
Yeah.
And that was in my mind for a second, and then when you said that's the same guy, she's the guy.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, this entire fucking thing is just in." It's just like a visualization of the guilt of murder, of all
maybe
that
she drove
And
home
see, I like that, but then I get pissed off because that last scene was clearly from the perspective of what would be then an imaginary person.
That's what I liked about it.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I liked about it.
Well, I just like, why would we shift perspectives if it's all existing in her mind?
For me, it's for the reason to just fuck with the audience. Because that's what I would have done if I was smart.
Just to fuck with the audience.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's what he was trying to do. What's that?
You underrate yourself.
I think you're smarter.
I kind of agree.
I think you can make something better than Alex.
I think you're smarter than
agree.
Alex Garland.
100%, hands down.
I think he does.
Put it to a vote. You fuck
Here's
you.
the thing.
Thank you.
Alex Garland.
Go ahead and accept it.
And I guess now it's like shit on Alex Garland Day. So
No, and that's the thing.
sorry, Alex,
that's the
if we
thing.
ever meet.
Like, I can understand why, like, the interest in the story. I just think he didn't go far enough, and someone else probably could have done a better job.
Well, here's what I'm kind of perplexed about. We had just compared him to Ari Aster, right? Ari has made 2 mainstream feature films, right? Like he's still, in terms of a
he's still
publicly aware film career, he's a baby.
He's still up and coming.
Alex Garland, despite just having these 3 movies, has been around
TV
forever.
And
He's been a screenwriter since like the 90s. You know?
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
He's
I don't know
done
about him.
tons of stuff, right? And so a lot of me sees that like weird middle space of being someone who's trying to transition from being a hands-off part of the movie business, a screenwriter. It's like, here's my vision, take it, go. To being that person is like, now I'm driving and taking the helm.
Interesting.
Clearly, his best movie is still Ex Machina. There's no question about that. So
Interesting.
maybe that was perfect storm sort of situation where all the pieces were just there.
You know, maybe like we always talk about filmmakers trying to prove themselves, especially on their first film.
That was it.
You know, that's Alex Garland trying to prove himself, and he's received a ton of critical acclaim. People do not talk about him as a bad director, and he's not a bad
Except for
director.
us. Except for on the Talkies.
Yeah, except for us, yeah. And I would say he's not a bad filmmaker.
He's not.
He operates on a threshold where it's like he crosses the threshold where whether I like it or not, I respect it.
Yeah.
You know?
He is on that list of filmmakers that if I just hear his name, I don't have to see the trailer. Like, I'll go see the movie
Exactly.
if it's an Alex Garland movie.
Honestly, what I really want is to like smoke a joint with him and just be like, okay,
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Honestly, you should have swapped the genders.
You should be more bold.
More bold and like make it. I don't feel like there's any connection to the filmmaker at all. Like it just feels like swap the genders in this. You're gonna do a story. Make the dude have like the main character is a guy and he's thinking about his wife who killed her. Like the same story, but swap the genders. I think it would be a different story. I think it would have more connection to him.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
Fucking A.
I feel like
maybe
I won't agree with
maybe you don't gotta see. We'll smoke with him.
I'll agree
I'll be
with
like,
anyone.
dude.
See,
Thanks,
I
Taylor.
don't want to know the artist. I love the visuals so much. I want the death of the author in this situation.
Well, that's true.
You know?
You're a cinematographer in narrative film. I'm an editor in nonfiction. We have totally different. That
Absolutely,
would make
totally
sense why we
different
come
things.
to the same movie.
I feel like you would shoot this movie. Like if you were shooting this movie, I feel like it would still look the same.
Yeah, I would shoot it that
And
way.
have more gravitas.
exactly.
Well, see, I want every movie to be able to survive the death of the author scenario.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I want
Well, Star Wars
movies.
doesn't.
But that's what you want, right? You want a movie to be its own thing to you individually without knowing anything about why it exists, who made it, you know?
Kind of.
That's what you'd hope, right? I think.
Kinda. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because like Denis Villeneuve, for example, I don't know if I would have come out of Dune the same way if I hadn't seen his other films. And
That's true.
him as a
Interesting.
person.
That's true, but the question then becomes, it wouldn't have been the same,
Right.
but would it have been better or worse? Like, it might have even been better.
Maybe.
You know?
I haven't thought about that.
If it was freed from preconception,
Right.
Because the preconception shapes your experience,
I can
right?
tell you that every single M. Night Shyamalan movie is hilarious because
100% shape.
yeah,
I know way too much about M.
Yeah,
Night
'cause we know so much
Shyamalan
about him.
Yeah.
to like really probably enjoy any of his movies
Yeah.
ever again.
like even if he comes up with an objectively good movie,
Sure. It's kind of just
Can
like
he do that?
spiral. Yeah.
Can he do that?
that's the thing.
I have
I
no
don't
Or is he
idea.
past the point of no return?
There's
I
gotta
kind of
be
think
fans,
so.
right?
Yeah.
That's really hard
Probably.
to say. I don't know if he can.
I would be delighted if he came out with something as good as
Even just as good as Split.
Split even. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
He should do a Marvel movie.
Jesus.
No.
Jesus.
That's my answer. to
That would
everything.
be something else.
No, he should.
That would be something else, man.
He should get a manager who says, "Knight, you have enough money, right? So we're not going to worry about that. I just want you to have a legacy, and so I insist that you make no movies that are above a $20 million budget for the rest of your life.
No,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
this
for
is
real.
what I'm going to say. I'm going to say he only has $20 million.
For the rest of his life.
That's it.
Agreed.
And
For
he
all
can only
movies.
make one more movie. And
I'm
that's
in.
it.
I'm in.
That puts
I'm in.
the pressure on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he
Good.
would make a good one.
He's got to make a good.
There's something about that pressure, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's the case with Garland.
I fully believe
Right.
that.
Could be.
Because it does feel like even though the scope has kind of like increased with his work over time, the quality has gone down.
I actually think this might be the launch pad for his next thing. Like I can see him coming away from I don't know. I could see him coming away from this film and being dissatisfied.
Well, it's weird because I feel like this movie is less than Annihilation, which was in itself less than Ex
Ex
Machina.
Machina.
So,
But
I don't,
still really cool.
yeah, like I don't know where he's going, but yeah, really cool.
This wasn't even that cool.
I
He's
know.
on a downward trajectory.
That's what I feel like is happening.
He's
Yeah.
gotta get in touch
It
with
wasn't
himself,
that cool.
man. He gotta
It
pray some
just
shit.
looked really, really
It
cool.
looked awesome, yeah.
That was like the main thing.
I
Was
think
how it looked.
That's probably why I want to say Tone Poem, because I really just connected with the visuals.
Sure.
If he had a shit cinematographer, then I probably would hate this movie.
Sure. Oh, it
Yeah.
looked beautiful. Totally looked beautiful.
There's too much B-roll in this movie.
No.
There was a lot of people
I'm not
that
listening.
happy with the B-roll.
I'm not
honestly
listening to you guys.
that honestly felt like it was from Storyblocks.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not-
too
It
much
really
of it.
did.
I'm
I'm just
thinking,
like, is that stock?
There was
Did
one
they sh-
visual
did
that I
they
really
even shoot
liked.
that?
It looked like stock probably because it was so crisp and clear and just like green.
It's 'cause-
just one color green.
But
I
that's
really
his
liked
style.
there
It's a
was
style,
that
yeah.
crook in the tree that looked like an upside down woman's body.
Yeah.
That was awesome. All the rest of it kind of same, kind of generic, kind of just like, ooh, pretty Britain, like which I love.
There was a
but
close up on a dandelion being blown.
that was dope as fuck.
It was dope as fuck, but I feel like it's from like a Hallmark Channel movie.
I get it.
I
totally
yeah,
get it.
yep.
It just felt like stock.
Actually,
You know
I think
what
I
made
used
that-
something like that.
The only thing that made that work for me was the fact that it did come back at the end.
the seed
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
made sense.
And then the naked guy did that thing where he blew seeds in the
That
air.
was cool.
That was cool.
And
I
it
love
went in
that.
her
Yeah.
mouth. Like,
That
Or when
whole
she's
end
running
sequence
on the-
was fucking crazy.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
let's talk about that
Yeah.
for a second.
Because that was actually
Ah.
fucking crazy.
That was
Yeah.
crazy, and that was probably the most memorable part of the movie for me.
I was so
I'm like,
definitely the most
disturbed.
memorable.
This is
That was
something.
awesome.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we're going to another level here. This is
Ugh.
cool.
Yeah.
What, 4 births in a row?
something like
Something
that.
crazy.
That
Or
kind of-
5 or 6 or
That
plus
kind
that
of got on my nerves a little bit because
Because you're
Same,
like,
same.
how are we going to do this? How many times?
Actually, what broke it up for me, what was cool was that they cut to her reaction, and instead of any other movie, literally
Yeah.
any other director,
Yeah,
she would have been freaking the fuck out.
probably.
running.
Yeah,
And she was just like,
witnessing.
whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, you're boring me,
yeah,
and that's why again ties into the tone poem to me.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting.
it's so much pain coming from this guy, and she's like, "You're not in pain. I'm the one in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Please leave me alone."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a good movie.
No, I mean, I see that. Like, I see her. I even see the idea of her being like, really, like,
Right. Exactly.
Because she's
I just,
looking at.
I just don't believe it. I just don't buy it. I don't buy any of it.
She's looking at her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Each time.
Well, that's why at the end when he came out, the ex-husband,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's on the nose." I thought he wasn't gonna be there because to me it spoke.
It's funny. You said it's on the nose, and I was like, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
We're switched roles now, man. Like, you're usually the one.
I
who's
know.
doing
I
this.
don't know what the. I'm not a
He's
fucking
expressing
touch here, man.
pain. I feel like, and he's expressing pain with the intent of gaining a reaction.
Yeah.
And
like
he's-
he wants.
Yeah.
To.
Yeah, and
And she's
he's.
not giving it
This
to him.
movie is
Yeah.
fucking brilliant.
I just can't help but eye roll. I think
Well,
Yeah,
that's kind of the end of the day.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if for some reason it turns out this was directed by a female, would you be like, no, this was definitely male?
It would change it totally. I think.
No. Would you come out saying, I'm fairly sure this is male. I think you're making a mistake.
I don't know.
Do
I
you
think
feel a hard male gaze here? I guess is what
I
I'm
do.
thinking.
I
Yeah.
totally do. Like, I feel like a female director would have a totally different
Different thing.
thing.
Who directed Ghost Story?
That was David Lowery.
Yeah.
David Lowery.
I like
we saw
Ghost
another
Story
one
a
of his
lot.
movies
Yeah, me too.
recently, didn't we?
That was Green Knight.
Yeah, he did Green Knight.
Interesting. Have you seen Green Knight?
I haven't seen Green
No.
Knight, but I
You
like
should
Ghost
watch-
Story.
Ghost Story's great.
You should watch Ghost
Ghost
Story.
Story's great. Green Knight is
Green Knight's cool too. You
okay.
should watch it.
Okay.
It's
But-
interesting.
I was wondering
A little
because
different.
I felt like that had
We had a very similar episode for Green Knight.
Yeah,
to
Really?
this
this is
one.
just
Really?
like a Green Knight
Huh.
episode.
Yeah.
Huh. Someone even brought it up
I
during
didn't like
watching
Green
it.
Knight very much.
Yeah. He's the champion of Alex Garland at the moment.
I am, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
I actually think I would have if we smoked a joint and talked. I feel like I would probably come away saying the same thing of being like,
Yeah,
you
but
need to do some shit. You need to get in there and figure what because this is all facetious. This isn't real. You know what I mean?
That's so interesting to me. That's interesting.
Maybe I'm
'Cause
just-
I want to dig
I felt the
more
same
into
way
that,
you did.
into what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah.
I feel like that there was something very profound he was trying to say. And I really lost track of it many times.
It was like for me, it was like the first like the whole like 75% of this movie felt repetitive.
Yeah.
It was just like
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kept building and building. It's like I don't know where this is going, and I see there are themes of men. All men are the same. Men like mistreating women psychologically,
See, I
Or
didn't-
something.
I didn't
Stuff
see
like
that. I mean,
that.
I saw that stuff, but it was to me, it was a holistic theme. It was like everything was tied together.
An expression of her mental
I
conflict.
get that too.
Yeah, her her imagination of what he was to her. That's what I felt like. But you're saying you felt like that was fake.
Kinda. Which maybe is, maybe why I have the same reaction to her. I'm kind of like...
In kind of an it's in an execution level.
Maybe.
Like, maybe like the themes and like the planning and all that's there, but in the how it comes down to style. This is like your style.
Yeah, same.
To me, I look at the style and I don't know, I feel like it's kind of generic is the word I would use.
Yeah, it's M. Night. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. M. Night has the same kind of thing where he imagines all this amazing stuff, but when it comes out in execution, because he's doing it, it comes out generic, or at least to us, it feels generic.
Yeah, maybe.
And same with Alex. Yeah. To you guys, it feels generic. To me, it feels brilliant.
I also think we're dealing with some narrative. We got some narrative dissonance here.
Yeah.
Cinema narrative dissonance.
That is correct.
Cinema narrative.
Because,
hell yeah.
As Dee said, this idea of it, like I like the idea that this is a tone poem about guilt and regret and mourning, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Like that kind of vibe makes sense.
And grief.
If that's what it was, he could have leaned into that a little more.
Agreed.
But there were also so many parts that seemed to suggest that wasn't what this was about. That this was about this concept. I mean, the movie's called Men.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
Right? And it kept kind of like re-emphasizing this whole idea that the concept of men is like homogenous.
Yeah.
Right? It's a person with many faces.
Right.
And they're all against this one, the female, the one female. And so it's like he couldn't decide what the movie was about. That's what it feels like to me.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I would agree with you because I think Alex, like I said, he thinks higher of his idea than what it comes out to be. I think what this was about is one girl saying all men are the same after breaking up with this person, and then moving on to maybe her girlfriend, who was the girl who was coming on. And because she said that and he killed himself, now it comes off as like this weird twisted fucking horror thing that doesn't really have anything to do with her guilt, I don't think, but it has to do with just her vision of what the problem.
I don't want to feel guilty about men anymore.
Yeah, like it's not. I don't care about you anymore, and yet it's still attacking her, and that's the psyche thing that's going on.
I like hearing you talk about it. I don't want to watch the movie. But.
And then when the girl came in, when the girl came in at the end, and you pointed out, oh, that's him too. I was thinking, oh shit. Now, like,
if there's no difference.
There's no difference, right? It's a relationship thing. The problem is with her, not with men.
That's cool.
I think that's dope.
That's cool as fuck.
Speaking of,
I wish the movie was about that.
I just also think it's bullshit. He jumped.
Speaking of the death of the author, then, like, I'm really curious to know what this film would have felt like if I hadn't gone in expecting an Alex Garland movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is very, very different from what I've experienced from him in the past. So I had a certain kind of expectation that definitely wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right? And the whole time I'm noticing all the Alex Garland isms.
Sure.
Right? And I'm like, oh, I know that, this look, that look.
Yeah.
The way he's directing her in particular, the way her performance is something we've seen, especially in Devs. The main character in Devs was almost
like identical.
Same person.
Yeah.
Could have been the same person.
Yeah. That's interesting. Oof, that actually makes me feel bad.
Yeah, so I'm like, is this a better movie outside of that whole set of baggage that I brought to it,
Oh, yeah. No.
It might be. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think about that, honestly, M. Night Shyamalan, because I feel like he has something to say, and I'm not there for it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I almost want to say that I appreciate Shyamalan more than Alex Garland.
I'm going to go throw it.
No, Taylor and I really appreciate him. We both have a lot of respect for the man.
Shyamalan has a stronger vision
nuanced. It's
than
nuanced.
Alex Garland. Even though Shyamalan flops on his face way harder than Alex Garland does.
Yeah.
Alex Garland falls in even though he kind of like
trips.
Yeah, Alex Garland, even though he has his movie end with people rebirthing, 5 times in a row out of assholes
And
Only-
mouths.
And
and
mouths.
mouths, he still feels a little safe. It still feels like he's kind of playing it safe to me. Where Shyamalan, like, Shyamalan goes fucking balls to the walls every time, even though he falls,
Cronenberg.
like, way harder than Garland does.
Dude, okay.
And I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Both of what you just said right now, I totally agree with. So, you were talking about, you just said Cronenberg.
Yeah.
I felt
want
that way
someone to lick the inside of their fucking stomach.
Yeah.
You know, in this movie.
Crimes of the Future, before all the gory and really fucked up weird shit it didn't feel at all
Totally.
fucked up.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
made sense. And
Yeah.
it would have been, like, if you show it once and you don't sustain that level of, then you lose it. But the whole time was fucking crazy, and I loved
here's
it.
another thing. Aronofsky's Black Swan.
Yeah, yeah.
When what's her name, Natalie Portman had like a cuticle
Yeah.
something thing, and she ripped it, and it went all the way down her arm.
Yeah.
That shit, yeah. See, like you just said.
I haven't even seen Black Swan.
Okay,
You haven't seen Black Swan?
Yeah, that's the only Aronofsky movie I have not seen.
Next
No,
movie,
it's
good
we're
movie.
doing it.
It's a good movie.
I love every Aronofsky movie.
I know.
Black
I would-
Swan's amazing.
I already know I would love
You
Black
would,
Swan.
yeah.
So when that happened, that to me went harder than most of the shit that I saw in Cronenberg's movie,
Sure.
and most shit that happened here.
Yeah.
And it's because of context, I think. But,
Yeah.
But that's again why I want to say it's a tone.
Yeah,
problem
well,
and
it's
not
like, hey,
Sure,
raise your
sure.
hands if you genuinely cared about the main character
Right,
of
no,
this
exactly.
movie.
Sure.
exactly.
Oh, for the listening audience, no one's raising their hand. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's okay in a tone poem sort of film.
Which is
right?
probably not
Yep.
what he was going
But I
for.
don't think
could've been.
that's what he
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Right.
Like, I can feel that he wanted us to care about the character.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't.
But he did not make that happen.
And
Just not at all.
And what you said about devs, like, I never cared about anyone in that show.
No, it was more about a concept than it was about the
Yeah.
characters.
It was funny enough because I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about devs real quick.
Spoilers.
I cared about the concept a whole lot, which is why it let me down so
The concept was amazing,
Yeah.
right? And then, yeah.
Don't spoil it, but yes, it was terrible.
Yeah, well, without being this isn't a spoiler to say that what devs did was they made a thing about the concept, but when they ended it, the ending
It was
was
about the characters.
it was trying to cash in on your emotions around the characters.
Ooh. I just realized that. Wow.
And that's kind of the same thing here too.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I think
it's like, hey,
especially
this
'cause-
crazy concept. Don't worry about the characters because we're going real deep into this concept, and then it's like,
Wow.
ooh, feel emotions because we,
Yo.
did something to the characters.
I'm gonna
Hit
bring
me
up.
right here in my
No,
heart.
no,
Oh,
no.
I love
Keep
it.
your opinions.
You
I
can't
love it.
do
Don't
both.
change
You
ever.
got to do one or the other, man.
love
I
that.
feel like, so you asked a while ago, like, if I want to walk into this movie, watch it without knowing the director.
Wish I could.
I did that with Mother and had all kinds of thoughts and opinions.
Actually, I did too.
And
I did
this
Is that your
one,
first Aronofsky?
That was the first time I knew his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, same. Because I was like, oh, I guess I got to pay attention to this because that was fucking nuts, and I had no idea what I was
Didn't we see?
into.
Didn't we see that in Pasadena
Yeah.
Yeah.
together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
God, it's such a good movie. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
such
love
a point in time.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
No. I'm losing it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna think about it. Mother. Oh, walking into this, I don't know Alex Garlandisms. I've seen Ex Machina, not Annihilation or Devs, so I kind of can say like, yeah, I didn't really recognize, and I still don't know. You know what I mean? Like what the point is, what the poem is.
Yeah.
You know, Rupi Kaur, I always know that she, even if I don't understand what she's talking about, that she is expressing something.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, and this is the difference, I think, between Garland and Kaufman.
Yeah.
Is because Kaufman feels like he's trying, whereas
Yeah.
Garland doesn't really feel like he's trying to do that specific thing.
He's not
I
going
think
there.
it comes off that way to me,
Sure.
but that's just to me. And
Sure.
I totally own that. But what was I going with this? The idea that
Sounded nice.
that
Yeah.
basically Kaufman's an artist, whereas
Garland can't decide if he wants to be David Lynch or
Yeah.
fucking.
Or himself. Fucking go there. Process your trauma.
Who was I going to say? I was going to say what's his name from Star Trek?
You name it.
Um,
Leonard Nimoy.
not him. The director, famous director,
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
Ah, yes.
He doesn't know if he wants to be David Lynch or J.J. Abrams.
Absolutely.
Ah.
That's a great mix right there.
And he's got to just give up on that and
You
be
know what?
whatever.
You know what shows to that is he's self-conscious.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah, it
Comes
does.
through.
It totally does.
I think he doesn't go in on the characters much.
Also,
and I think that's the weakness.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
got to let his heart bleed a little bit. on the screen.
Agreed. Oh,
That's what I think that's what you're talking about.
It is, and I'm sick of like it. I know it, and I think it feels. I don't know. Maybe it's just the lady in me or some shit. But I'm sick of.
Is there a lady in you?
I wish, man. I forget what I was talking about.
Sorry, I thought you were
super
I'm
funny.
sick of women being like just monsters. Like this thing is going through childbirth and just like fucking. I don't know. The scapegoaty is there a little bit.
I didn't feel that, but I understand where you're coming from.
Sure. Which is maybe just being me being hyper defensive of that. But
I mean, I'm
Well, she
being
seemed
hyper
pretty,
defensive about the cinematography shit. So
sure, see, there we go.
She seemed pretty passive through everything that was happening.
She did.
You know,
That's what
Like
Deb's
she
was.
was
That's kind of-
experiencing a dream or something.
In
Yeah.
Hereditary,
Yeah.
what's her face? The most powerful moment for me is when she's in the early part, the slow pan across, and you see in the hallway that the mom is just screaming and wailing, and you can't even hear it's not
Damn.
over loud. You know what I mean? That image to me is that movie, and the one where at the very end, the body.
And that,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that guy Ari. I mean, he's character oriented.
Yeah.
He is absolutely all about bleeding heart. Like, what was the first few shorts that he's made are just they completely lack any gimmick. They're all just character.
Well, he's
Yeah.
also never made a movie that he's called a horror film.
yeah,
True.
Exactly.
that's
Right?
true.
With,
It's always been like a means to an end.
Yeah,
Almost.
everyone calls Hereditary the best horror film of the modern age.
Yeah.
And if you ask him what he made, he says, I made a family drama.
Family drama.
Yeah.
That's what he calls it.
Yep.
And his next movie he's calling a quirky...
A quirky comedy, zonky dark
A
comedy.
zonky dark comedy, and I bet it's going to be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fucked
Everyone
up.
else is
It's
going to
be
call it
so
a
fucked
horror
up.
movie.
I'm
And you know,
already
he's
scared.
But it's because he cares about character.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
and he does wear his heart on his sleeve in his filmmaking.
Yeah.
In interviews, he's talked about. He hasn't said what, but he's experienced a very dark family tragedy of some sort.
That comes through in all
It
his
totally
movies.
comes through. He's a
He's
true to life artist
experienced
right there.
some serious grief.
And he
Yeah.
goes there with
Yeah,
us.
and he literally like just puts that right into his film.
He puts it in your
Come on,
face.
Garland.
Yeah, I love
with it,
that
man.
shit.
Get with it, Garland.
Let
I
me
know.
see your
damn,
Smoke
therapy.
a joint. Let's
I-
process your trauma.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see your therapy on screen, you son of a
Honestly,
bitch.
Maddie,
Maybe that's the issue. I'm just expecting that.
Maddie,
you know, like,
if you go and watch Annihilation, which
Yeah.
I highly recommend,
Yeah.
I think you'll have a good time. It's
Sick
a cool
nasty.
movie.
dope.
It's better than Men.
It's
You
very
will be
cool.
really like perplexed that Men followed up
Yeah.
Annihilation.
I can kind of
Yeah.
get. I mean, it's
Like
Machina.
Annihilation feels like a growing filmmaker coming off of
Totally.
Ex Machina.
Totally.
It really does.
Bigger scope
I-
a little bit.
This
Yeah.
does not feel like growth.
This feels
Yeah.
like a regression.
It does.
Yeah, it feels like we like he's like, hey, I made a student film and I'm gonna bring it out now that I'm famous and show you.
Woof.
It just
Kind
does
of.
not make sense that this is his latest.
Here's a
to
positive
me, at
note.
all.
The person who played all those characters,
Yeah.
excellent job.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I liked his
yeah.
Great
performance.
performance.
He was amazing.
All of the
yeah.
performances were
We're-
great.
we're
Yeah.
good.
I especially
Super
loved
good.
him as the landlord guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
yeah.
That guy,
Awesome.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was one
Good
hell
character.
of a like he was sincere and creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Like he was
Yeah.
warm and creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And
Yeah.
that is just so British.
Yeah.
That is just like British to a T.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like I can tell that you're very genuine and you do care about my well-being, but you are freaking me the fuck out,
Yeah.
man.
Like
Calm
even
down.
Yep.
Stop
even
saying
when,
such weird shit.
even when he pulls her out of the car after she runs him over.
Yeah.
Like I'm like. When he opened the door, I kind of expected him to be like, "Are you okay?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Are you all
Yeah,
right?"
me too. Totally did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Oh
that.
man.
What was the actress's name? The main actress?
I can't. I
Do we
don't know. I don't know.
I could ask someone I know right
Who's
now.
that?
The internet.
Siri.
What was this movie called?
Men.
Men.
Men. Was it Men?
Alex
That was called-
Well, I would
Garland.
say that she did an excellent job.
An X. Legend.
X.
Ah.
She did an X job.
Ha
Uh,
Jesse Buckley.
Jesse
That's her
Buckley.
name.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed.
Oh, and Riley was not played by that actor.
Oh, the girl.
Riley is a real actress named Gail Rankin.
Oh,
Well, she had some vibes.
There
and
were
she
some
was
vibes.
pregnant.
You're right.
She was
There were
pregnant.
she
some
was
vibes.
pregnant. Yep.
So, that cannot be a mistake.
It's got to be
You don't
connected.
cast a woman who's pregnant and be like, oh, well, I guess the character's pregnant.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you could.
It's funny. The movie has like a cast of like 8 people.
Yeah.
That's a really small cast.
This is a small movie.
It really, I
Yeah,
think
it
I'm
was.
at the point where I just want to remake this movie and just you know, like with our little team of ragtag
Yes.
superheroes.
Let's fucking make that.
I'm down with
Yeah,
that.
I don't want to be the naked person. I
Okay.
think that
I'll
should
be the naked person.
I was just gonna say, I think
Kenny
that should
would
be.
do it.
Yeah, you're like Kenny would.
person.
Kenny would totally do that.
Kenny
I
would.
would.
do it, Yeah.
I would. I want a prosthetic penis.
Yeah.
They always use those on HBO
Yeah, we
because
can
they're
get, like,
a
shrinkage.
big old pink one.
Like
The
a 9-inch
cold. You know what the
long-
cold
Yeah.
does, and so
The
yeah.
cold.
yeah, you know how cold can be.
Yeah,
cold.
shrinkage.
you get it. You get it.
I
Dude
have
doesn't
heard.
get it.
I
There's
have
a
heard.
certain amount of shrinkage
Oh,
A certain percentage.
because of the cold.
because of the cold.
Understood.
Understood.
And
Doesn't
that's
happen
a real,
to me.
That's a true fact.
Wow,
As opposed to false fact.
That
that's
is not a false fact.
Do your nipples also get shrinkage
Yeah.
They actually
in the
get
cold?
bigger.
Oh.
They get shrinkaged.
Bigger.
Mine get
Bigger?
erect.
Much bigger.
Damn. Oh, fuck.
God
They
damn.
get fully
Taylor.
engorged.
You get engorged.
Engorged.
You're dripping.
I
You're
lactate.
Speaking of lactate, pizzas.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh my
That's
God.
speaking of lactate because pizzas have cheese. And cheese is made of milk. Milk is lactated from a nipple.
I have a pizza for this.
Yeah,
Oh,
It is
yeah.
a pizza in the shape of a vagina,
that's good. That's
and in the middle of it, in the middle of the slit, is.
Ew.
Oh God.
I really hate that word. It's really fan fiction.
Slit.
Are some like
Slit.
sausages that look like fingers,
Okay.
Wow.
and
That's-
they're on the outer and they're on the inner, just like the statue.
Fuck.
Oh.
Fuck yeah, go Kenny.
That,
You nailed it.
That feels
Nailed
like it
it.
should mean something. Oh
I
man, I
know
want
it
to dig into that.
doesn't.
It's a movie that feels like
It doesn't. It's just porn.
It's a pizza that feels like it should mean something.
I guess
Yes.
I'd eat that.
Yeah, and then you eat it, and then you just
Yes.
shit yourself like normal because you're lactose intolerant.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, that is normal.
Excuse me.
That's
Yes,
totally
that is
normal.
That's very
Yep.
normal.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't
All
realize
right.
it was normal.
Everyone does it.
that's
Not me,
Sorry.
but everyone.
This was by the way, if it matters, a $25 million movie.
What the f? See, there's
Wow.
only 8
I don't
cast
see
members.
that. What this
This,
CG? I
this
guess.
seemed bigger than 25 million to me.
Really? That feels smaller
Really?
than 25.
Yeah, I feel like they could have shot this in a weekend.
No,
Right. I feel like this is like a 10 million.
D, the camera person is like,
Well,
I
it is
hate
down.
D
everyone.
would probably know
So-
best.
Yeah.
It's the same budget. That's the same budget as Ex Machina.
Interesting.
Ex
Okay,
Machina
well,
was
now-
25. Annihilation was 40.
Okay, now I feel that.
So,
Why
so
was
in
this
Ex
so
Machina, 25
yeah.
million
Now-
of those
now I feel like
dollars.
it's way too expensive.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I'm like, in Ex Machina, all of that money went towards the production. In this movie, 20 million went to this Alex Gardner guy.
Yeah, it went right in his pocket.
And that's just
The son of a bitch.
He raised
This
it for
son of a
himself.
bitch.
yeah,
He's like, I'm just gonna
he's like, this is my fee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
make a movie
Yeah.
for A24. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm really racking my brain.
I don't think so. I think you're mistaken.
I don't know
I
where
am
that
probably
budget
mistaken. I'm
would
just
go.
biased.
Racket.
I'm
25.
very impressed at Annihilation at 40 million. That seems pretty
Wow.
impressive, though.
That seems right.
Yeah. That seems like an achievement on 40.
That seems, yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. But
That's-
25
See
for
this
this
movie.
seems absurd.
No, yeah. Wow, I'm like way fucked up now. That's really strange. How much did M. Night spend on Old?
Less than that. I'm
Yeah.
Way
sure
less.
It was like,
He's-
I think it was like 10 million.
He's like a 10 million.
Okay.
He's been
'Cause I
trying
was
to.
gonna say that feels like a very small
Yeah,
movie. So.
yeah. That same could have been shot in a week
Yeah.
or two.
Why was this a $25 million movie?
For the one guy over and over.
Yeah, they
The
found
C-
they
this-
found
For
a
the
man.
CG, I don't know.
The CG face
Old was
replacement.
18.
Okay, but less.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Why?
Oh, it was the
this
tree
20
effect.
Travel,
making
the
his
tree
apples
effect?
fall.
Yeah.
Making
There
the
was
apples
some-
It was for the
fall.
camera.
You could have done that in a week.
Yeah.
It was for those goddamn lenses.
The
They
fucking
did some
lenses.
weird, like,
and the
like
vintage
face
lenses.
replacement
Yeah, I'm a
stuff,
kid.
too.
That
Yeah.
could be expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Well,
I mean,
the
so did Ex
childbirth
Machina.
scenes were definitely CG heavy.
Okay, that could be expensive.
Yeah.
Not that expensive.
but not that expensive. And it's not like there's a lot of locations.
Maybe the
They had
actress,
8 people.
maybe the actress asked for like $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, so this was a $5 million movie. This is actually a
I can see
$5
this
million
if
If
movie.
this was a
Yeah.
$5 million movie, I would have a little more respect for
It
it.
feels,
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Probably.
it feels like a $5 million
I want to say I've
movie.
seen more
Big
impressive
oof.
movies on $5 million.
I've seen more
You
impressive
have, you
movies.
definitely
I'm not
have.
even going to say it. We could just rag on it. But I'm just like, I don't know. I think that's another thing is give him more restrictions. Give him more, this just felt like, ooh, it'd be cool.
It does feel like
I was going to say that in
yeah.
different renditions all night.
We've said this many, many times, but like, the Matrix thing with the Wachowskis, right? Sorry, D. But
Man, we're just ragging on him today.
but
My guy,
When-
Bill Pope.
when they had their thing to prove and a very limited budget, they made the best movie they've ever made.
Yes.
And whenever they've been like, "You're the Wachowskis, here's a blank check, do whatever you want," not so good,
Kind of same with Coen Brothers.
Oh man, Ari, where are you going?
Oh no,
Where's Ari going?
The third movie
That's
for
the
Ari
tell
Aster
it.
is going to tell everything.
That's the
Yeah,
tell.
yeah.
And you know
If-
what's funny? I said that for Midsummer. I was like,
Did you?
that's
Yeah.
going to be the tell.
I did too,
And then it was
yeah.
fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was
I was
so
like,
good.
okay, this dude's fucking dope.
Yeah.
But the third movie, that's going to be the tell. Well,
Is it still going to be like a 4-hour movie? Is that?
I
Oh,
haven't heard
please
anything new,
no.
but that's
what they
he's
said at the
gunning
beginning.
for. He's gunning for. He's been gunning for 4 hours, which means it'll probably be 3 hours.
Yeah.
I bet the release will be like 3 hours.
I hope not. I'm so over that. We're
I'm in. I'm so
all
in.
I just
in
have.
for long
I mean, I
movies.
guess I'm there for the Lord of the Rings.
Just wear a
trilogy.
diaper.
I love long
I-
movies
I'm
as
sold.
long as they're good. I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
wear a diaper.
But you know what, Kenny, you're actually right about Disappointment Boulevard being the tell, because it sounds like it'll be a very different kind of movie from what we've
It
seen.
seems
of
totally
him.
different. It
Yeah.
sounds crazy different.
Yeah.
That's
And
great,
he's
though.
working with
Yeah,
Joaquin
which is great.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. Dude.
Love
Dude.
him. Love him.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite working actors right now.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
When
And
is this
Ari
coming
Aster.
out?
I don't
I'm
know.
fucking on the.
I'm on
This
the
is
edge
not
of my
about-
seat.
this is
This is
not
not relevant.
Come on, we're like
He still has
edging
to
right
make it
now.
not relevant.
We're fucking edging.
We are
I'm
edging.
Like, I'm gonna come.
Fucking
Come on.
dripping
When-
here.
When's this movie coming out? Please. I need release.
This is not relevant.
Have you heard anything though?
No. I'm
news
sorry,
there.
dude.
But still,
I
I'm
try
still
to.
not done.
I keep
but-
on it too.
But seriously, when is it coming out?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, this
I
episode
sort of feel like
is
it's
about
a myth,
We
too.
started
Wait, we
pizza
did
ratings.
one pizza
We
rating.
did start
Maddie got her
pizza
pizza
ratings.
rating in. So Kenny goes next.
Why not you? You're next to her.
Clock.
Literally, you're both next to
Clock.
me.
Clock.
I'll go next.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
'cause I'm not
perfect.
ready.
That's
Here
a
we go.
twist.
Okay, so you know how tarts look.
Oh, like
Like a lemon tart?
Yeah,
Or a
like a
lime
like a
tart?
slutty woman.
Like a pie.
Oh,
like
God.
a pie. You know
Like a
how they have
pie.
those pie shells, and then you have like the custard, then you got the fruit on top.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
But whenever you see it in like a grocery store, it always has that glassy glaze over
Glassy
it.
Uh-huh.
glaze.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
looks very pretty.
It
Yeah.
does.
It's sugar, and then they use a little torch.
So it's that. So it's a pizza
Okay.
that looks like that, and you're like, oh my god, and you eat it, and you're like, well, I mean, it's just pizza. So
I see.
I see that. I see that.
Oh.
there you
It's
go.
like got
That's
a glaze on it.
It looks really good.
Looks great.
Really good.
It's fantastic.
But it's just
Beautiful.
pretty it's like Domino's.
It's
That's
I mean, it's
good.
pizza.
Yeah.
That's good.
I get that.
All right.
I know what this is.
What is it?
Dude,
Whoa.
this is a cheese pizza.
Oh, God.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Like you eat it and it's like, this is good, but it's nothing special really.
Wow.
And I wish there were pepperonis on it.
Got
Cheese
mine.
Pizza.
That's
It
great.
just came. I got
All
it.
right.
That's fantastic.
Brain blast.
Thank you.
All right.
Go.
So
Give a neutron.
So there's like a renowned pizza place in your town, right? And you're like, this place has like they're cool. I know that if I order from this place, it's going to be cool. They have a reputation. They have established themselves. You've had excellent pizzas from them in the past, and so you order their new pizza. Okay.
New pizza.
And what you don't know is that on the way, the delivery person, he's one of those like bicycle delivery person. he gets hit by a car.
Oh shit.
Okay, and he goes flying, and the pizza goes rolling down a hill.
Oh my god!
Right, and he just is mortified because he has to like keep the reputation good for his company, so he just kind of shoves it back in the box, you know, and he brings it to you, and he delivers you the pizza, and you open it up, and you're like, I know this is good, like it's made of good stuff, and like this guy is famous. It's good. Right? It's got to be good. I know it doesn't look right, but... And then you eat it, and you're like, this part's good. And I'm like, I think this is grass. I think this might be grass. And then like later that night, you're like, that was fucking weird. But there were some really good parts in there. Like, I'd order from there again and hope to have a better experience.
Oh, that's perfect.
But this time was a little fucked up.
And you're considering the whole night. Was the grass?
Yeah, was that supposed to be there? like
was that worm? Did that mean something?
Yeah, and I'm like,
you know?
The delivery person was bleeding. Like,
I think there was blood on the pizza.
Was that part of the performance? Yeah. Like, was that a message? Did it mean something that he was missing teeth? I don't know. But there's my pizza.
I love
Nailed
that.
it.
That's my rating.
That was good.
Ditto.
That's fantastic. Perfect.
Oh, dope. Well,
pussy pizza.
Pussy pizza.
That was unplanned.
We're cousins. Anyway,
what is
this?
What is this?
What was this?
You've been listening to the Talkies.
What do we do?
This is the Talkies.
Oh,
This is the Talkies.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so the Talkies.
Kenny, are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the Talkies, and it is a podcast that occasionally is published.
When was this published?
We literally have like 6 episodes ready to roll.
Might be more than that.
7 episodes.
Look,
maybe we should divide it.
Listen, dear audience. I know, dear audience, you've been just dying to hear our voices, but here's what you got to understand. We like making these way more than we like editing them or publishing them. We don't give a fuck about you.
Just know that.
We do this for us.
This is a plea.
This is for us.
This is a plea.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Please, if you're listening to this, please, God, we need a fucking editor. Please edit for us.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Taylor. Thanks for that.
Back on its
Very good. Very good. Anyway, goodbye.